During the late 19th and early 20th centuries, freak shows were a staple of American entertainment, captivating middle-class audiences and proving highly profitable for their promoters. These extraordinary exhibitions offered a unique glimpse into a world that was both fascinating and misunderstood. Join us as we explore the lives of 40 real circus performers who left their mark on history, offering a perspective that challenges what we thought we knew about freaks and the spectacle of their time. So, let's kick off this fascinating journey with number 40, Jack Earl, the Gentle Giant. Jack Earl, born Jacob Ehrlich in 1906 in Texas, experienced a sudden and extraordinary growth spurt at age 7 due to gigantism. By the time he reached adulthood, he stood at an astounding 8 feet 6 inches tall. Well, he was even taller than today's world's tallest man, Sultan Kusin, whose height is 8 feet 3 inches. Despite his intimidating stature, Jack was known for his gentle demeanor and artistic talent. Initially working as a silent film actor, he transitioned into the world of sideshows, where he became a celebrated attraction. Beyond his performances, Jack was also an accomplished poet and painter, creating works that reflected his introspective nature. Unfortunately, in 1952, Jack passed away, leaving a legacy of kindness and creativity. Number 39, Pip and Flip. The Snow sisters, Jenny Lee and Elvira, were born in Georgia in the early 1900s with microcephaly, a condition causing small skulls and intellectual disabilities. Known as Pip and Flip, they were famous performers in the sideshow circuit, captivating audiences with their unique appearance and charm. Their popularity skyrocketed after appearing in the 1932 film Freaks, where they shared the stage with other iconic performers. Despite their on-stage success, their lives were often controlled by exploitative handlers. The sisters performed for many years before retiring, leaving a lasting impression on the history of sideshow entertainment. Number 38, Miran Dejo, the Invulnerable Man. Born in the Netherlands in 1912, Miran Dejo shocked audiences with his seemingly supernatural abilities. Known as the Invulnerable Man, he allowed swords, needles, and other sharp objects to pierce his body without causing pain or harm. Medical professionals who examined him confirmed his astonishing endurance, with some tests conducted under X-rays. Dejo claimed his abilities were a gift from a higher power and used his performances to convey spiritual messages. Tragically, his quest to prove his invincibility led him to swallow a large needle in 1948, which caused an internal rupture. He died shortly after surgery to remove it at the age of 35. Number 37, Robert Melvin, the Man with Two Faces. Robert Melvin, born in Missouri in 1920, suffered from neurofibromatosis, a condition that caused benign tumors to grow on the right side of his face, giving the appearance of a second face. Despite the challenges of his condition, Robert embraced life with humor and determination. He became a celebrated performer at Coney Island, where he was known not just for his unique appearance, but also for his skill as the show's accountant. Robert's gentle personality and sharp intellect endeared him to colleagues and audiences alike. He passed away in 1968, remembered as both a talented performer and a kind-hearted individual. Number 36, Minnie Woolsey, the Bird Girl. Minnie Woolsey, born in Georgia in 1880, was diagnosed with Virchow-Seckel syndrome, also known as bird-headed dwarfism. This rare genetic condition caused her to have a narrow, bird-like face, a small head, and a frail frame. Minnie joined the sideshow circuit under the stage name Cuckoo the Bird Girl, where she performed dressed in elaborate bird costumes. She gained further fame when she appeared in the 1932 cult classic film Freaks. Despite her physical challenges, Minnie was known for her vibrant personality and entertaining performances. Her later life remains shrouded in mystery, with little documented after her retirement. Number 35. Stefan Bibrowski. Stefan Bibrowski, famously known as the Lion-Faced Man, was born in Poland in 1891 with a rare condition called hypertrichosis, which covered his entire body in long, silky hair that just looked like a lion's mane. His mother believed his condition was caused by witnessing a lion attack during her pregnancy, leading her to give him up at age 4. Despite this heartbreaking start, Stefan's intelligence and charisma shone through. He joined the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus, where his graceful performances captivated audiences around the world. Beyond his unique appearance, Stefan was a polyglot and a gentleman. He was fluent in several different languages and always dressed impeccably, adding to his enigmatic aura. Number 34. Grady Stiles, the Lobster Boy. Grady Stiles was born in 1937 with ectrodactyly, a condition that caused his fingers and toes to fuse, giving them a claw-like appearance. Known as the Lobster Boy, Grady became a sideshow performer at an early age. His impressive upper body strength allowed him to maneuver without assistance, but his personal life was tumultuous. Struggles with alcohol and a violent temper led to a tragic incident in 1978 when he shot and killed his daughter's fiancé. Due to his condition, he avoided a prison sentence, receiving only probation. In 1992, his wife hired a hitman to kill him, marking the violent end of a troubled life. Number 33. Fedor Jeftichuk, Jojo the Dog-Faced Boy. Fedor Jeftichuk, born in 1868 in Russia, had hypertrichosis, which caused excessive hair growth over his body and face. Discovered by showmen as a child, he was brought to America by P.T. Barnum and marketed as Jojo the Dog-Faced Boy. Barnum fabricated an exotic backstory, claiming Fedor had been found in the wilderness, living like a feral animal. In reality, Fedor was intelligent, well-spoken, and fluent in multiple languages. Despite being forced to bark and growl on stage, he was admired for his gentle demeanor. Tragically, he died of pneumonia at the young age of 35, leaving behind a complicated legacy. Number 32. Prince Randian, the Human Caterpillar. Prince Randian, born in British Guiana in 1871, was born without arms or legs due to tetra amelia syndrome. Despite his physical limitations, Randian developed incredible skills, including the ability to write, shave, and even light cigarettes using only his mouth. He performed for over 40 years, captivating audiences with his resourcefulness and wit. Known as the Human Caterpillar, he often appeared in striped suits that accentuated his unique appearance. Randian also appeared in the 1932 film Freaks, where his one-handed cigarette rolling scene remains iconic. He passed away in 1934 after a lifetime of inspiring resilience and ingenuity. Number 31. George and Willie Muse, the Men from Mars. George and Willie Muse, African-American albino brothers born in Virginia in the 1890s, were kidnapped as children and forced into sideshow performances. Their captors marketed them as the Men from Mars due to their pale skin and unique features. Despite years of exploitation, the brothers became famous performers, captivating audiences with their musical talents. Their mother eventually tracked them down, reuniting the family and freeing George and Willie from their handlers. They continued performing on their own terms, becoming beloved sideshow figures. The brothers lived long lives, with Willie passing away in 2001 at the age of 108. Number 30. Martin Lorello, the Human Owl. Martin Lorello, born in Germany in 1885, had an extraordinary ability to rotate his head 180 degrees due to a rare spinal condition. Nicknamed the Human Owl, He became a popular sideshow performer in the early 20th century, appearing with Ripley's Believe It or Not and Ringling Brothers. Beyond his head-turning act, Martin was also an accomplished dog trainer, incorporating his pets into his performances. While his talent astounded audiences, turning his head caused him to temporarily stop breathing, adding an element of danger to his act. Martin passed away in 1955, leaving behind a legacy of unique showmanship. Number 29, Mignon, the Penguin Lady. Mignon, known as the Penguin Lady, was born in the early 20th century with a condition called phocomelia, which caused her limbs to resemble flippers. Despite her physical differences, Mignon became a talented performer, learning to play the marimba and entertaining audiences with her musical skills. She toured extensively with major sideshows, including the 1933 Chicago World's Fair. Mignon found companionship in her marriages to fellow performers, including Hoppy the Frog Boy. After retiring in the 1960s, she faded from public life, but her story remains a poignant example of how resilience and talent can shine through adversity. Number 28, Otis Jordan, the Frog Boy. Otis Jordan, born in 1925 in Tennessee, was known as the Frog Boy due to a rare condition called arthrogryposis multiplex congenital, which caused his joints to be permanently bent, leaving him unable to walk. Despite his physical limitations, Otis was fiercely independent, mastering everyday tasks using his mouth and limited arm movement. He entered the sideshow circuit in the 1940s, where he amazed audiences with his ability to roll and light cigarettes using only his lips. Over time, Otis became a skilled public speaker, delivering inspiring lectures during his performances. He passed away in 1996, leaving a legacy of determination and perseverance. Number 27, Zip the Pinhead, the Missing Link. William Henry Johnson, known as Zip the Pinhead, was born in New Jersey in 1842. He had microcephaly, a condition causing a small skull and limited cognitive development. Under the management of P.T. Barnum, Zip became one of the most famous sideshow performers of the 19th century. Barnum marketed him as the Missing Link, claiming he was discovered in Africa. Zip embraced his role, donning a fur suit and grunting during performances, though he was known off stage for his cheerful demeanor and intelligence. His career spanned over 6 decades, and he remained a beloved figure until his death in 1926. Number 26, Maximo and Bartola, the Aztec Children. Maximo and Bartola, a brother and sister from El Salvador, were born in the mid-19th century with microcephaly. They were sold to a Spanish trader who brought them to the U.S., where they became sideshow sensations under the management of P.T. Barnum. Marketed as the Aztec Children, they were falsely claimed to be ancient Mayan descendants discovered in a lost temple. Audiences were captivated by their childlike features and the fabricated backstory. After years of touring, they retired to a quiet life. Despite the exploitation, Maximo and Bartola remain remembered for their unique place in sideshow history. Number 25, Joseph Merrick, the Elephant Man. Joseph Merrick, born in 1862 in England, developed severe deformities early in life due to Proteus syndrome. His oversized head, skin growths, and twisted spine earned him the nickname the Elephant Man. Merrick's tragic life included abandonment by his family and exploitation in sideshows, where he was exhibited to horrified audiences. In 1884, Dr. Frederick Trevis discovered him and provided refuge at the London hospital. Merrick spent his remaining years there, finding peace and friendship for the first time in his life. He died in 1890 at age 27, likely from asphyxiation caused by his condition. His story remains one of both tragedy and compassion. Number 24, General Tom Thumb, the star of Barnum's Circus. Charles Stratton, known as General Tom Thumb, was born in 1838 in Connecticut and stopped growing at 6 months old, eventually reaching a height of just 2 feet 8.5 inches. Discovered by P.T. Barnum at age 5, he became one of the most famous performers of the 19th century. His sophisticated demeanor, comedic timing, and musical talents made him a global sensation. In 1863, he married Lavinia Warren, another little-person performer, in a highly publicized wedding. Tom Thumb's career brought him immense wealth, and he remained a beloved figure until his death in 1883 at age 45. Number 23. James Morris, the elastic skin wonder. James Morris, born in the 19th century, had Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, a condition that gave his skin incredible elasticity. Known as the elastic skin wonder, Morris became a popular performer with Barnum's Circus. He amazed audiences by stretching the skin on his neck over his face or pulling his stomach skin several feet outward. His act was both entertaining and educational, as he often explained his condition to fascinated onlookers. Though his condition caused him physical discomfort, Morris embraced his role in the sideshow world, earning a significant income. He passed away in the early 20th century, leaving a lasting impression on medical and circus history. Number 22. Frank Richards, the human punching bag. Frank Richards, born in the late 1800s, discovered his remarkable ability to endure extreme physical blows while serving in World War I. Realizing his unusual talent, he turned it into a successful vaudeville act. Richards invited audience members, including professional boxers, to punch him in the stomach, yet he never flinched. Over time, he escalated his stunts, allowing sledgehammers and even a 100-pound cannonball to strike his abdomen without injury. His ability to withstand such force became legendary, earning him fame across the U.S. Richards retired from performing in the 1940s, living quietly until his death in 1969. Number 21. Anna Swan, the Canadian giantess. Anna Swan, born in Nova Scotia in 1846, stood an astonishing 7 feet 5 inches tall by adulthood due to gigantism. Despite her size, she was graceful and charming, attracting attention from showmen like P.T. Barnum, who recruited her to perform in his American Museum. Anna's most notable moment came when she survived a harrowing fire at the museum in 1865, escaping with the help of onlookers. Later, she married Martin Van Buren Bates, another extraordinarily tall individual, and the couple became a celebrated attraction known as the Giant Couple. Anna lived a quiet life in her later years, passing away in 1888. Number 20. Johnny Eck, the half-boy. Johnny Eck, born in Baltimore in 1911, had a rare condition called sacral agenesis, which left him without lower limbs. Despite his physical challenges, Johnny was remarkably agile, walking on his hands with extraordinary speed and grace. He gained fame in the 1932 film Freaks and toured with major sideshows, performing feats like climbing ladders and acrobatics. Beyond the stage, Johnny was a skilled artist, magician, and model builder. He retired to a quiet life in Baltimore, where he focused on his hobbies until his passing in 1991, remembered as one of the most accomplished and multi-talented sideshow performers. Number 19. Betty Broadbent, the Tattooed Venus. Betty Broadbent, born in 1909, became one of the most famous tattooed women of the 20th century. Fascinated by body art from a young age, she began getting tattoos at 14 and eventually adorned her body with over 565 intricate designs. Known as the Tattooed Venus, she performed with the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus, where her tattoos became the centerpiece of her act. Betty broke barriers, shattering taboos surrounding tattooed women and paving the way for body art in popular culture. After retiring in the 1960s, she continued to inspire future generations of tattoo enthusiasts. Number 18. Ella Harper, the Camel Girl. Ella Harper, born in 1870 in Tennessee, had a rare orthopedic condition called congenital genu recurvatum, which caused her knees to bend backward. This condition made walking on all fours more comfortable than standing upright, earning her the nickname, the Camel Girl. In 1886, Ella became the star of W.H. Harris's nickel-plate Circus, where she was paired with a live camel to create a striking visual. Advertised as the most wonderful freak of nature, Ella earned significant income during her time in the circus. Despite her fame, she chose a quiet life, leaving the sideshow world to pursue education and family. She passed away in 1921, leaving behind a story of adaptability and determination. Number 17. George Lippert, the three-legged man. George Lippert, born in Germany in the mid-19th century, was famed for having 3 legs and 2 functioning hearts. His third leg, although fully formed with toes, was non-functional. Lippert gained widespread fame in Europe and America, performing with various circuses, including P.T. Barnum's. While his third leg was a primary attraction, Lippert's additional heart was only discovered after his death in 1906 during an autopsy. Despite achieving fame, he lived a modest life and struggled with health issues in his later years. His story remains a fascinating chapter in medical and sideshow history. Number 16. Melvin Burkhart, the human blockhead. Born in Kentucky in 1907, Melvin Burkhart became a sideshow sensation with his bizarre and captivating performances. He was most famous for his ability to hammer nails into his nasal cavity, earning him the title, the human blockhead. In addition to this act, Melvin was a skilled contortionist, sword swallower, and fire eater. His unique talent for controlling his facial muscles allowed him to create dramatic expressions, such as smiling on one side of his face while frowning on the other. Melvin's humor and charisma made him a beloved figure in sideshow history. He continued performing into his 80s, passing away in 2001. Number 15. Grace McDaniels, the mule-faced woman. Grace McDaniels was born in Iowa in 1888 with a rare genetic condition called Sturge-Weber syndrome, which caused facial deformities. Despite being labeled the mule-faced woman by sideshow promoters, Grace maintained a dignified presence on stage. She joined the sideshow circuit in the 1930s and gained fame for her participation in beauty contests, ironically winning the Ugliest Woman title in 1935. Though her appearance drew crowds, Grace was a loving mother and preferred a private life off stage. She used her earnings to provide for her family and passed away in 1958, remembered for her strength and perseverance in the face of societal judgment. Number 14. Leonard Trask, the human camel. Leonard Trask, born in 1805 in Maine, led a normal life until a series of severe injuries caused his spine to deform dramatically. Over time, his condition worsened, forcing his chin to rest permanently against his chest. Dubbed the human camel, Leonard turned his physical hardship into a sideshow attraction, earning money to support his family. Despite the pain and ridicule he endured, Trask remained resilient, even penning a biography about his life titled A Brief Historical Sketch of the Life and Sufferings of Leonard Trask, the Wonderful Invalid. He passed away in 1861, leaving a legacy of courage and determination. Number 13. Robert Huddleston, the Pony Boy. Robert Huddleston, born in the 19th century, had congenital genu recurvatum, a condition that caused his knees to bend backward, making it impossible to walk upright. Despite his physical limitations, Huddleston embraced his unique gait, moving on all fours with extraordinary speed and agility. Known as the Pony Boy, he worked as a logging teamster before joining the circus, where his strength and flexibility amazed audiences. Huddleston became a star performer with the Tom Mix Circus, showcasing incredible tricks like throwing his leg over his shoulder. His story is a testament to perseverance, showing that physical challenges can be transformed into extraordinary achievements. Number 12. Daisy and Violet Hilton, the conjoined entertainers. Daisy and Violet Hilton, born in England in 1908, were conjoined twins joined at the hip. Abandoned by their mother, they were raised by a caregiver who turned them into sideshow attractions from a young age. Despite enduring years of exploitation, the twins became talented performers, mastering music, dance, and acting. Their fame peaked when they starred in the 1932 film Freaks and later performed in vaudeville and burlesque shows. After legal battles for independence, they lived modest lives, working in retail. They passed away side by side in 1969, leaving behind a legacy as trailblazing performers. Number 11. Sarah Biffin, the mouth artist. Sarah Biffin, born in England in 1784, overcame her physical challenges with extraordinary determination. Born without arms or legs due to a condition called phocomelia, Sarah learned to write, paint, and sew using her mouth. Her incredible artistic talent gained her recognition, and she was even commissioned by members of the British royal family. Sarah performed at fairs and exhibitions, where audiences marveled at her ability to create intricate paintings. Despite facing societal prejudice, she achieved financial independence and critical acclaim. Sarah passed away in 1850, remembered as an artist who defied all odds. Number 10. William Hutchings, the lightning calculator. William Hutchings was a mathematical prodigy who dazzled audiences in the mid-19th century with his ability to solve complex calculations in seconds, all without the use of tools or paper. Born in 1840, he gained prominence when P.T. Barnum featured him in the American Museum as the lightning calculator. Hutchings performed intricate equations and mental math feats that left spectators in awe. Even after Barnum's museum burned down, he continued to showcase his skills, once performing for President Ulysses S. Grant. Later in life, Hutchings transitioned to teaching and wrote a book to help others learn mental arithmetic, cementing his legacy as both a performer and educator. Number 9. Violetta, the limbless Venus. Violetta was born with tetra-amelia syndrome, a rare condition that left her without arms or legs. Despite her physical limitations, she amazed audiences with her remarkable abilities. Violetta could comb her hair, sew intricate designs, and even thread needles, all with astonishing precision. Dubbed the Beautiful Venus, she toured widely, captivating spectators with her flawless torso and grace. After her performances, audience members were allowed to approach her, but she handled inappropriate advances with wit and strength, famously using her shoulder to fend off unwanted kisses. Her courage and independence inspired admiration, even in an era that often objectified such individuals. Number 8. Sarah Bartman, the Hottentot Venus. Sarah Bartman was born in South Africa in 1789 and later brought to Europe under false pretenses, where she was exploited for her pronounced physical features, particularly her curvaceous figure. Billed as the Hottentot Venus, she was exhibited as a sideshow attraction in England and France, often appearing nearly naked before gawking crowds. Her life was marked by exploitation and objectification, and she passed away in 1815 at the young age of 26. Her remains were displayed in a museum until 1974, but in 2002, they were repatriated to South Africa, giving her a long overdue dignified burial. Her story remains a haunting reminder of the dehumanization faced by many sideshow performers. Number 7. The Colorado Brothers, conjoined pioneers. Lazarus and Joanna Baptista Colloredo, born in Italy in the 17th century, were among the earliest documented cases of conjoined twins. Lazarus was fully functional and led a relatively normal life, even fathering children, while his parasitic twin, Joanne's, protruded from his torso. Despite Joanne's being immobile and silent, their condition captivated European audiences. They toured extensively, even performing before royalty, including King Charles III of England. In a strange twist, Joanne's once saved Lazarus's life. Lazarus was accused of murder, but the execution was avoided because it would also kill Joanne's, an innocent party. Their story reflects the curious intersection of fame and humanity in sideshow history. Number 6. Crau Farini, the Bearded Lady. Crau Farini was born in Laos with hypertrichosis, a condition that caused excessive hair growth across her face and body. Her appearance was sensationalized by showmen who advertised her as the missing link in Darwin's theory of evolution. Despite the crude marketing, Crau was anything but primitive. She spoke fluent English, had impeccable manners, and captivated audiences with her charm and intelligence. Performing from the late 19th century into the 1920s, Crau became one of the most iconic bearded women of her time. She passed away from influenza in 1926, leaving behind a legacy of resilience and dignity in a world that sought to exploit her differences. Number 5. Waldo the Great, the Human Aquarium. Waldo, known as the Great, performed one of the most shocking acts in sideshow history. He would swallow live animals, such as fish and frogs, and then regurgitate them unharmed. To prove the authenticity of his act, Waldo invited audience members to listen to a ticking watch inside his stomach after swallowing it. This bizarre yet mesmerizing performance earned him both fame and infamy. His bespectacled and clean-cut appearance created a stark contrast with the grotesque nature of his act, making him a unique and unforgettable figure in the world of sideshow entertainment. Number 4. Isaac W. Sprague, the Human Skeleton. Isaac W. Sprague's condition, later identified as extreme muscular atrophy, left him weighing just 18 kilograms, about 40 pounds, as an adult. Despite his fragile appearance, he became a sensation under P.T. Barnum's management, billed as the Human Skeleton. Audiences were both fascinated and sympathetic to his plight. Sprague's fame, however, couldn't shield him from hardship. He struggled with gambling and poverty, relying on a flask of milk to sustain his frail body. Tragically, he died destitute in 1887. His remains were donated to science, as doctors sought to understand the condition that had shaped his life. Number 3. Schlitzie, the Pinhead Performer. Born in 1901, Schlitzie was one of the most beloved sideshow performers of all time. Afflicted with microcephaly, which caused an abnormally small skull and intellectual disabilities, Schlitzie became known as the Pinhead. His kind demeanor and endearing personality made him a favorite among audiences and fellow performers. Often dressed in women's clothing to accommodate his incontinence issues, Schlitzie toured with Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey. After being institutionalized in his later years, a former showman rescued him, allowing him to return to the stage where he found happiness. Schlitzie passed away in 1971, remembered as a symbol of joy and resilience. Number 2. Millie and Christine McCoy, the Two-Headed Nightingale. Millie and Christine McCoy were born into slavery in North Carolina in 1851, conjoined at the lower spine and sharing some vital organs. Despite their difficult start, their lives took an extraordinary turn when they were sold to showman James P. Smith. Unlike many exploitative owners of the time, Smith saw potential in the twins and invested in their education, teaching them music and languages. They became international sensations as the Two-Headed Nightingale, enchanting audiences with their synchronized singing and piano skills. Tragically, a fire destroyed their savings, leaving them in poverty. The sisters remained inseparable until their deaths from tuberculosis at age 61. Number 1. Chang and Eng Bunker, the original Siamese twins. Born in Siam, now Thailand, in 1811, Chang and Eng Bunker were conjoined at the chest by a small band of cartilage. Despite their condition, they lived remarkably independent lives. Discovered by a merchant and brought to America, they became sideshow sensations, later managing their own tours. Both married sisters and fathered a combined 21 children, dividing their time between two households. When Chang's health declined, it affected Eng as well, due to their shared circulatory system. Chang passed away in 1874, and Eng followed just hours later. Their lives remain a symbol of resilience and adaptability. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating content like this.